On these gentle down on these poor people. You gentlemen and tradesmen who ride about at will, look down on these poor people, it's enough to make you krill. Look down on these poor people as you ride up and down. I'm sure that it's a God above will bring your pride quite down. You tyrants of England, your race may soon be run. You may be brought into account for what you've surely done. You pull down our wages and shameful it to tell. You go into the markets and you say you cannot sell. And when that we do ask you when these bad times will mend, you quickly give an answer when the wars are at an end. You tyrants of England, your race may soon be run. You may be brought into account for what you've sorely done. When we look on our poor children, it grieves our hearts full sore. Their clothing it is worn to rags and we can get no more. With little in their bellies as they to work must go, while yours do dress as manky as monkeys in the show. You tyrants of England, your race may soon be run. You may be brought into account for what you've sorely done. You go to church on Sundays and I'm sure it's nought but pride. There can be no religion when humanity's thrown aside. If there be a place in heaven as there is in the exchange, our poor souls they may not come near, like lost sheep they must range. You tyrants of England, your race may soon be run. You may be brought into account for what you've sorely done. And you say that Bonaparte has been the spoil of all, and that we've got good reason for to pray for his downfall. Well, Bonaparte is dead and gone, and it is plainly shown that we've got bigger tyrants in bonies of our own. You tyrants of England, your race may soon be run. You may be brought into account for what you've sorely done. And now, my lads, for to conclude, it's time to make an end. Let's see if we can form a plan that these bad times will mend. Then give us our old prices as we have had before, and we can live in happiness and rub off the old score. You tyrants of England, your race may soon be run. You may be brought into account for what you've sorely done.
Up, up, up to the butcher's shop, I dare not stay no longer. For if I do, me mother will say I've been playing with girls down yonder.
Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day.
I'll tell me ma over our Marianne, going down the street with a nice young man, laced up boots and a feather in her hat. That's the way she gets a chap.
Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. I made you look and I made you stir, and I made the barber cut your hair. He cut it long, he cut it short, cut it with a knife and fork. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Sam, the dustbin man, washed his face in a frying pan, combed his hair with a donkey's tail, and he scratched his belly with his big toenail. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. You know last night, you know the night before, 3 little tomcats come knocking on the door. One had a fiddle, another had a drum, and the third had a pancake stuck to his bum. Early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning, before the break of day. Right next to Oldham there's a town. It used to be a village. And before the war, when people couldn't afford to go to Blackpool and Southport and Ferrin Parks, they used to go down there and take gingerbread, or parking as it was called, or bottles of Corporation Pop, or water, and enjoy themselves in general. However, during the war, the sand that was around here was taken away to make sandbags, and so the place only exists in the song, Rawtenstall.
Me, a wife and family of three went to Rawtenstall by the sea. We watched clog dances and we listened to bands, and then we went on Rawtenstall sands, and we kept eating parking. We kept eating parking. We kept eating parking. That's why we are so brown.
I beg you leave, fine gentlemen and ladies of renown, if you please to make us room, we will sing to you a song. If you please to make us room, we will sing to you a song, and I'll call in me comrades and call 'em one by one. For we're jolly boys, we do no harm, wherever we may go, and we've come the place again, as you very well do know. Well, the first that does come in now, he is a blooming youth. He courts all the pretty girls and always tells them truth. He says he'll never deceive 'em, but's all is kind and true, and 'tis his delight both day and night, the supping of strong brew. For we're jolly boys, we do no harm, wherever we may go, and we've come the place again, as you very well do know. Well, the next that does come in now, he is a sailor brave. He says he's ploughed the ocean and split the briny wave. He says he has got gold, and he says he has got store, and he says he'll marry a pretty girl and go to sea no more. For we're jolly boys, we do no harm, wherever we may go, and we've come the pace again, as you very well do know. Now the next that does come in now, he is a roving blade. You'll find him where the ladies are, for he is such a jade. Big rosy cheeks are his delight, both beautiful and fair, and if you want a sweetheart, you must come to Overton Fair. For we're jolly boys, we do no harm, wherever we may go, and we've come the place again, as you very well do know. Well, the next that does come in now, it is Miss Kitty Fair. She takes a great delight in the curling of her hair. She has a basket besides her, she has no stores put in, and 'tis her delight both day and night, the supping of strong gin. For we're jolly boys, we do no harm, wherever we may go, and we've come the place again, as you very well do know. Well, now you've seen us all, think of us as you find. If you're pleased to give us a trifle, it would be very kind. So cheer up your spirits while we drink a glass of beer, and we'll sup your health and store your wealth until the very next year. For we're jolly boys, we do no harm, wherever we may go, and we've come the place again, as you very well do know.
Ale Physic, ale Physic, ale Physic for me. Ale Physic, ale Physic, ale Physic for me.
I would go in by a doctor's house atop of Newton, and there I did a sudden stop and gan me fear to death. My arm shake like an aspen leaf, I did hurt in my shoon. It seemed as dark as 12 at night, though it were but 12 at noon.
Ale Physic, ale Physic, ale Physic for me. Ale Physic, ale Physic, ale Physic for me.
I thought I see the gallows tree where yon crop thief were wrong. I'm not out, Nick, were taking me, and there he done me young. I groped me way to doctor's door, and there I tumble it down. For it gan me such a sauce, it well he broke me crown.
Ale is Physic, ale is Physic, ale is Physic for me. Ale is Physic, ale is Physic, ale is Physic for me.
Now what were doctor thinking on to bring me to my soul, and save a sick and dying man so fear to death and now? I use no lance, I use no drug, it quickens or it soothes. A broughted jug of one brewed ale as it come from Willie Booze.
Ale is Physic, ale is Physic, ale is Physic for me. Ale is Physic, ale is Physic, ale is Physic for me.
I placed it in me wackering on that were so pale and thin. I swapped it off at a want and I've never ailed nothing.
Ale is Physic, ale is Physic, ale is Physic for me. Ale is Physic, ale is Physic, ale is Physic for me.
It can't be helped, it can't be stopped when all is done and said. Wherever comes, wherever goes, young folk keep getting wed. How folk may kindly caution them and marriage was proclaimed, but young uns take no heed of them, they just get wed all same. Young chaps get lonely by theirselves and so does women too. Therefore they go and tie theirselves in knots they can't undo. But still I wish them happiness in every Sunday way, to gradely lad and bonny lass that's reached their wedding day. May they each at others' confidence and may they never clem. May they always trust each other, and if grosser weren't trust them. May all their lives be happiness, one endless toffee moon. A fine out, especially if they're up in a balloon. Here's luck to 'em, here's joy to 'em, aboard and a bed. May they never know that they were born, still less that they were wed. And so I end me jolly rhyme, we wish we all may share enough of health, enough for wealth at newly married pair.
Clogs. As soon as I were out enough to toddle on my own down clough, they made me wear, 'cause loam were rough, some clogs. When later on I went to school, because me mother made me go, with temper I punched noses through me clogs. Schoolmaster had just then oft give me stick, but more so when he saw I'd forgot to cleanse me clogs. Like all young lads, I loved a lark. I liked to make clog iron spark. I cracked through doing get it dark, me clogs. Me father went up at deep end when he funnet. He made me bend. Then I felt what pair a foot could lend to clogs. If bigger lads at top at brew should try to bash me coming for at school, one thing would allus pull me through, me clogs. For at school I went off time at mill. A skip with bobbins had to fill. My first week's wage just settled bill for new clogs. At 18 I were quirting strong. But sad to say it didn't last long. For who said when I asked her what were wrang? It's the clogs. That hurts a mitch I welly scracked, and after tea to bed I packed. But I found a lass that said who liked me clogs. We were wedded June at following year. Though church were crumbed, you couldn't stir. That's the only time I didn't wear me clogs. I'm herder now be 50 year, but let them as want a shoon to wear. I'll be old-fashioned and prefer me clogs. Shoon nip your feet just like a vice. I've had some, and it's none so nice. If you want to, take my advice. Try clogs. If you're getting a job like shifting sonding, or bug blinding your upstairs London, you'll need a gradely understanding. Try clogs. Two things you'll find brout Lancashire fame, and one is cotton and cotton frame. But as for t'other, well, there's no but one name, and that's Clogs. C-L-O-G-S. Clogs.
A merry little Doffer lad come down to Shapper's Mill to see if he could get a shop. He says his name were Bill. Bill, what me lad? Or Lucas said that's a cold note besides. Oh, I says, lad, they call me things sometimes it's hard to bide. Then what's thy father's name, me lad? They'll surely tell me that. Says lad, some call him Apple Dad, his gradely name's out at. Me Uncle Joe's got flopper chops and sometimes out betide. They call him though that waving shop and I know out beside. Says though Luker, I know how Joe, he works for Billy Grime. But what do they call thee, me lad, when they call dinner time? Lad grinned and said they'd never have to call me then a fair. Says though Luker, how's that, me lad? Says lad, I'm always there. He says thou looks a lively cow, keen as a crosscut saw. Short hair, sharp teeth, a twinkling eye and a little hungry maw. But where hast thou been working at? What's brought thee down away? Says lad, I work for Tommy Platt, he's gimme it bag today. That's brought the character, I guess. Says lad, you're wrong, I doubt. Says though Luker, how's that, me lad? Says lad, I'm better bout. Says though Luker, I've never seen such a lad since I were born. For I'll try what I can to make thee come to thee working morn.
Down behind the gasworks, down in Rawtenstall, that's a little town in Lancashire. Last Saturday night, me and the lads, come, we had some right good cheer. There were ice cream, switchbacks, coconuts and waxworks, figure eights and roundabouts. Weren't we all delighted when we heard the showman shout, so roll up, come and see the fat girl, 40 stone of loveliness and every bit's her own. She were a big un, we accent on the big, and all the fellas with walking sticks kept giving her a dig. She were a great big lassie, as didn't know her chassis, were blown up with her, I do declare. Well, everything were champion until some silly clown stabbed her with a pin, said the showman with a frown. All hands to the pumps, lads, me vessel's going down at the Rawtenstall annual fair. Roll up, see the house of mystery. Ladies pay a tanner to be tickled in the dark. In went the lads, just for a peep. The showman pulled a lever and we landed in a heap. Well, down he shot 'em, right to the bottom. Frills and balls for everyone to see. There were shouting, screaming, everything were right. I saw some funny things I've never seen in all me life. I even saw some things I've never seen upon me wife at the Rawtenstall annual fair. Roll up, come and see the mermaid, see the lovely lady, half a woman, half a fish. In went the lads to show it wasn't swank, when little Tommy Higgins put some whiskey in the tank. Well, she got frisky, swimming in the whiskey, and when she come up for air, she bowed to the audience, gave her tail a swish. Her tail it come off, and she really looked delish. She says, what do you want, lads, a bit of meat or fish? At the Rawtenstall annual fair. Roll up, see the tattooed lady, see the lovely lady with the pictures on her skin. In went the lads, and they began to cheer, to see that on her back were all the towns of Lancashire. There were Bottom, Manchester City, the town all standing in the square. There were Oldham, Bolton, Ashton-under-Lyne, Coalpit up at Burnley were looking mighty fine. So someone shouted, Daddy, don't get down the mine. at the Rawtenstall annual fair.
We're right down in Coalhole where muck slaps on windows. We've used all our coal up and we're right down to the cinders. If Bumbailiff calls he won't know where to find us, 'cause we're right down in Coalhole where muck slaps on windows. Cups and saucers, plates and dishes, little black lads in calico breeches. Where's he been, lad, a-selling papers? Oh, for me Uncle Willie, what's he gandy, a skinny old apney, tight old bugger he ought to be.
On the croft, where we played pitch and toss, and the copper come and chased us away. So I hit him on the head with a bloody big lump of lead, and the slimy little bugger ran away. Poor Mary was a weepin', a weepin', a weepin'. Poor Mary was a weepin' on a bright summer's day. Oh Mary, what you weepin' for? What you weepin' for? What you weepin' for? Oh Mary, what you weepin' for on a bright summer's day? I'm weeping for me lover, for me lover, for me lover. I'm weeping for me lover on a bright summer's day.
Don't touch my silk dress, my mother can tell. Me boots are guinea gold and yours are black lead. My bonnet is blue, me heart it is true, and I dare not be sin with such rubbish as you.
Well, I went up to heaven one morning in May. The angel said, where does come from and where does that stay? When I told him from Oldham how they all did stir, he said, come in lad, that's welcome, that's first and from there.
Cob-A-Coalin, Cob-A-Coalin, we come a Cob-A-Coalin for bonfire night. Now the first to come in is the collier, you say, with his pick and his shovel all ready to dig. He digs it and picks it and then it does fall, and that is the way that we gather cob coal. We come a Cob-A-Coalin, 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 we come a Cob-A-Coalin for bonfire night. And the next to come in is a sailor, you say, with a bunch of blue ribbon tied under his knee. He travelled through England and France and through Spain, and now he's returned to out England again. We come a Cob-A-Coalin, 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 we come a Cob-A-Coalin for bonfire night. And the last to come in is a miser, you say, he's an hump on his back and he's blind of a knee. He's a weary out feller and he wears a pigtail, and all his delight is in drinking out ale. We come a Cob-A-Coalin, 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 we come a Cob-A-Coalin for bonfire night. Now down in yon cellar there's an oud umbrella, there's nowt in yon corner but an oud pepper pot. Pepper pot, morning till night. If you give us nowt, we'll pinch nowt and bid you good night. We come a Cob-A-Coalin, Cob-A-Coalin, Cob-A-Coalin. We come a Cob-A-Coalin for bonfire night. And down in yon cellar there's plenty of bugs. They've eaten me stockings and part of me clogs. We'll get a sharp knife and we'll cut their heads off, and we'll have a good supper of bugs, heads and broth. We come a Cob-A-Coalin, Cob-A-Coalin, Cob-A-Coalin. We come a Cob-A-Coalin for bonfire night. Up a ladder and down a wall, tuppence and threepence, so please us all. Come Bill and Jack and a Bob and Tom and a listen to me story. Me wife declares she'll wear me back if I vote for a Tory. Oh, if I do, she does declare their plans she will defy, sirs, and keep me as I do deserve. Oh dear, up on sour pie, lads. She says that any man who dares to touch her sweet or sugar, like Bendigo, she'll box his ears and make him cry out blubber. If Alec Dustman never dares our privilege denied, lads, she'll take the specs from off his eyes and feed him sour pies, lads. There's Jack at Mumps, the doctor boy, he wants to physic you, lads, but don't be humbugged by his pills, so long as they're dye blue, lads. For if he gets you in his grasp with a bolus made of lies, lads, he's bound to give thee belly wretch from feeding these sour pies, lads. There's Bendigo, that nondescript, the pugilistic person. We Alec at his heels, me lads, they'll do to make a fair son. We'll stick 'em up in town museum like cheers that roar and cry, lads, and all the town at their request will feed 'em sour pies, lads. All men who've got a wife to please, come join us in the fight, lads, and set the tyrants quite at ease and put 'em to the right, lads. The Stockport lads, they will rejoice, and they with us will cry, lads. Out Slades and Eel shall be no go for out sour pies, lads. Oh, Oldham lads and lasses all, come join us in the struggle, and Fox our friend to London send in spite of all the rabble. Free trade and free trade men we'll have, and banners have unfurled, lads, truth shall prevail and never fail until it's spread our world, lads. Between Bolton and Bury, it was on the moonshiny night. I met with a buxom young waver whose company give me delight. She says, young fella, come tell me if you're level and ruler in tune. Come give me an answer correct. Can you get up and square me new loom? I said, me dear lassie, believe me, I am a good joiner betrayed. And man is the good loom and shawl, before in mid-time I have made. Your short lambs and jacks and long frame, I quickly can put them in tune. Me rule is now in good order to get up and square your new loom. She took me and showed me her loom, disappear. The Lamjacks and Neils put in motion, the level the loom to a hair. Me shuttle ran well in the lathe, my main tread it worked well up and down. Bill level stood close to a brass bone, the time I was square in the loom. The cords of me Lamjacks and treadles, at length they began to give way. The bobbin I had in me shuttle, the weft it no longer would stay. A lathe it went bang to and fro, my main treadle it still kept in tune. Me pickers went nickety-knack, all the time I was reeving the loom. Me shuttle it still kept in motion, the lamb she worked well up and down. The weight in the rods they did tremble, she said she would wave a new gown. Me strength began for to fail me, I said it's now right to a hair. She turned up her eyes and said, Tommy, me loom you have got pretty square. But when the foreloom post she let go, it flew out of order again. She cried, bring your rule and your level and help me to square it again. I said, dear lassie, I'm sorry, at Bolton I must be noon. But when I come back this way, I will square up your jerry Hand-Loom.
Come, Mary, put me Clogs by, from jacket shaking the dust. We've gone on strike for 10%, we'll get it, lass, I trust. There's nothing cheers our wants so much as the great fear of coal, but as much as Collier lads can do to keep body with the soul. We've gone on strike for 10%, we're not down out idiots. We've gone on strike for 10% and 10% we'll get. Don't bother much or food for me, but see Joe's enough. If they and they getting decent meals, I'll put up with rough. And cheer up me bonny lass and little Joe, don't fret. That Dobby us I promised thee when strike is all they'll get. I've gone on strike for 10%, we're not down out idiots. We've gone on strike for 10% and 10% we'll get. I've had works out up me head since when been brought so low. And gaffers want us back at bit, but back we wanna go. I've been on strike for many a month, this time I'm staying out. And little Joe mun understand it's not his father's fault. We've gone on strike for 10%, we're not down out idiots. We've gone on strike for 10% and 10% we'll get.
There's an old chap lives down our street in a cosy cottage greenhouse, and on a Sunday morning when it's fine, I often goes and sits with him to have a smoke and chat, because he is a dear old friend of mine. And when it's getting dinner time and dinner's ready then, I think it must be time for me to go. But he goes and hangs me hat up just behind the out front door, and then to my surprise I hear him say, "Hey, I'm always glad to see him on like thee. That's as a welcome lad, as a welcome as can be. First they cheer up to table, stop as long as thou art able, for I'm always glad to see him on like thee." One day when I was sat with him, there came a loud rat-tat. There came a loud rat-tat on Jack's front door. He heard his door to open it, and there to his surprise, an hungry tattered beggar stood outside. He asked Jack for a crust of bread, Jack looked him through and through, and then said, "Bless the heart, lad, come inside." And he went and hung his hat up just behind the out front door, and to the tramp's surprise he heard Jack say, "Hey, I'm always glad to see him on like thee. That's as a welcome lad, as a welcome as can be. Watch they cheer up to table, stop as long as thou art able, for I'm always glad to see him on like thee."
In Manchester I saw Coalhole blundering in a crack, sir, flew as far as Saddleworth with Ashton on its back, sir. Indeed, sir, it's true, sir, I've never been given to lie, and if you go to Lancashire you'll see the same as I. I saw a goose for a Staley Bridge that called from Ida take, and stole a bag for Liverpool a fill with Irish bacon. Indeed, sir, it's true, sir, I've never been given to lie, and if you go to Lancashire you'll see the same as I. In Aslington I saw a mouse wheel muck through Wrighton town, sir. At Moseley I met a cat who were in a Knaresborough gown, sir. Indeed, sir, it's true, sir, I've never been given to lie, and if you go to Lancashire you'll see the same as I. At Failsworth I saw a turkey, Rob Prestwick Church all over. At Hull I saw a rabbit chase a hound at Dover. Indeed, sir, it's true, sir, I've never been given to lie, and if you go to Lancashire you'll see the same as I. I once saw two dead guinea pigs, try which of them was stronger. I've really told so many lies that I can sing no longer. Indeed, sir, it's true, sir, I've never been given to lie, and if you go to Lancashire you'll see the same as I. Now to conclude and end me song with heart and true goodwill, sir, if you want a bigger lie than this you can sing it for yourself, sir. Indeed, sir, it's true, sir, I've never been given to lie, and if you go to Lancashire you'll see the same as I.